And welcome back to Coach's Corner with head coach Preston Beverly, the Lincoln College New England Wildcats. Coach, strong ending to January. You win 5 games in the month. You start February just the same way. Extend your winning streak to 8 games overall. 85-60 win over Holyoke Community College this past Saturday at Bristol Eastern. And this was a game that you were in control early. Your guys distributed the basketball very well. 6 players in double figures. An overall great performance.
Yeah, I feel kind of like a broken record with just saying, great team win. But this was definitely a game that a lot of guys saw time and they were able to stay within our system, but still be able to contribute.
And so you come in with playing 8 guys in total, 6 of them with double figures and 2 others at the 9-point mark. I mean, guys were really sharing the ball well. And when your top scorers, 12 points, that was Darian Davis and Kojo Lockhart. There's a lot of points to be shared there.
A lot of points. It's kind of one of those things where we're really fortunate to have a great group of student athletes that enjoy playing with each other. We had some other guys that didn't get in solely because being sick, but then also too, we have a team rule where if you miss the practice before a game, you can't play that particular game. And we had some guys who had study hall the morning before, and study hall had ended about 30 minutes before we left, but they still missed the bus. So, with us having practice off campus, there really wasn't a way for them to be able to make it. So, I think those guys, while they learned a great lesson too, they were probably our biggest cheerleaders. On the bench, clapping for guys, really rooting us on throughout that whole game.
Great shooting performance that day too. 30 of 60 from the field, right at 50%. You got a lot of paint touches, with 33 free throws, and you made 22 of them. So I'm sure it's nice to see the offense come together that way. You shoot a high percentage and hit the board strong.
Yeah, one of the things about this team is we don't have really any volume shooters that just kind of just throw it up and hope it goes in. We really stress on making sure we get the best shot possible. And usually when you do that, you have guys in position to rebound. So if you do miss, that there'll be somebody down there to clean up.
A couple of guys actually 3 guys had double-digit rebounding performances, with Kyle Croppinger coming off the bench with 10 boards, and Jalen David and Kojo Lockhart both with 10 rebounds. So 85-60 win over Holyoke. That improves your record to 16-5 overall. An 8-game winning streak. You've got 1 loss in the region when you're talking Division III opponents.
Yep.
And so this upcoming week, you're going to have a couple of road games, starting with Massasoit Community College, and they're the Division II, one of the Division II teams in this region.
Yeah, they're the last Division II team for us. It should be another good game. They're definitely up there in the Division II ranks. I believe right now they're maybe the 3rd or 4th in the region at the Division II level. So very competitive. Size-wise, I think we'll match up well with them. So it really just kind of come down to tempo and style and see who will win.
Now, would a game against a Division II school have any bearing on the seeding for your region tournament at the end of the season, maybe into the regular season?
It might. I don't think that it will. Hopefully, if we're able to do what we need to do, we'll be able to squeak out the win. Right now we sit atop of the Division III region 21 teams, and the next closest is 4 games behind. So, as I said, this is our last Division II team to play. Some of the other schools haven't played them at all. So, you would think that, okay, even if we drop this one, some of the other schools might drop it as well, so it would kind of balance out.
Yeah, I didn't mean to imply that so much as I wondered maybe do you try something different, maybe a little wrinkle that you could work in that you would use somewhere down the line because it may not have an impact on those standings of the conference tournament,
Yeah, this is definitely a game that we might just try to see, does it work, because there are some things we work out in practice that it would be interesting to see kind of how they work in the atmosphere.
So after Massasoit Thursday night, you have the Saturday afternoon game, big rival game, UConn Avery Point down there at 2 o'clock, and that's always a tight, well-contested matchup.
the Battle of Connecticut Schools. It's definitely a rivalry game. We were able to get a win against them at home last time, so I know that they're dying to kind of get us back for that. They also had a really big win against Springfield this past weekend, and Springfield is sitting in that 2-3 spot, and I believe Avery Point somewhere in that 4-5, so definitely a tight race. So I look to get their best shot, kind of like what we do with everybody else. But I know with that kind of battle for who's the best in Connecticut, they're definitely going to give us all they have.
Yeah, bragging rights game, right?
Mm-hmm.
99-83 was the final score of your win right before Thanksgiving when you played UConn Avery Point up here. I know coaches don't want to look ahead too far, but I noticed the way the schedule shapes up here at the end of the regular season. We're sort of back to what we saw in November, where you have a lot of games packed within a week time frame. So February 6th is your next game. February 20th is the last regular season game. 6 games packed into that two-week span, not even 2 weeks.
Yeah.
How is your team in terms of the legs at this point in the year, and what do you do to make sure guys are still able to come with full energy and not be fatigued?
That's a good question. We at this point of the season, we're really not introducing too many more new things. So we are getting a lot of shots up. We're still lifting. We really focus on our players, on making sure they're getting enough rest, stress to them, fluids, water. Those guys getting sick. That's some of the things that'll happen throughout the course of the season, especially if you're not getting enough rest or you're not drinking a lot of liquid. So, at this point, health is really the biggest thing. So we kind of dial down a little bit in our practices, not going as long, but still going very hard.
Sounds good. Well, we hope you bring back 2 more victories for Lincoln College of New England. 16-5 heading into the 2 games this week. And thanks a lot for watching Coach's Corner with head coach Preston Beverly. See you next week.